Garbage. Follow the path of the trash. Where does garbage go? How does it break down? What are the challenges of dealing with so much waste? Garbage. Follow the path of your trash with environmental science activities for kids. Donna Latham, illustrated by Tom Castile. How long is it around? How might think you might think that aluminum soda can is simply gone once you've tossed it in the trash. But guess what? That is gonna be around for a long time. Take a look in the chart below. One trash can represent 20 years. For example, glass bottle can last for 1 million years. Monofilament fishing line 600 years, plastic beverage bottles 450 years, disposable diapers 450 years, foamed plastic boy 80 years, foamed plastic cups 50 years, tin cans 50 years, nylon fabric 30 to 40 years, plastic bag 10 to 20 years, cigarette butt 1 to 5 years, plywood 1 to 3 years, washed milk carton 3 months, apple core 2 months, newspaper 6 weeks, and orange of a banana peel 2 to 5 weeks. A throwaway world. I can't believe that we're taking a class about garbage. Once it's in a trash can, it's out of mind. Who wants to think about trash? Garbage is actually a fascinating subject. Do you know that you and your family produce enough garbage in a year to fill your entire house? If we don't think about our garbage, then we might just end up living in it. Gross. Okay, my mind is now officially open to thinking about garbage. What have you tossed in the trash today? A gone apple core? A mangled plastic straw? Maybe you threw away a tarred backpack or an old pair of sneakers. Trash is stuff we consider useless. Another word for trash is garbage. We throw garbage away. Anywhere you find people, you'll find garbage. Mounds and mounds of it. A gyre of plastic trash floats in the middle of the ocean. Garbage is even marooned on the surface of the moon. Usually, we don't realize how much stuff we throw away. In just 1 year, an average family of 4 in the United States turns out 6,351 pounds of waste. That's enough to fill a 3-bedroom house to the ceiling. Essential question: why does it matter where garbage goes after we throw it out? Because if we don't care about it, it will end up in landfills or incinerators, and this will turn out to be a huge problem in a long term, because it will become a garbage problem or plastic problem, something like that, and it will end up doing a lot of harmful stuff and like effects and something like that on humans' health and on animals as well. Words to know. Gyre is a spiral. Maroons to leave someone or something trapped somewhere that's hard to get to. Waste is material that is not wanted. Landfill is a huge area of land where trash gets buried. Incinerator is a large surface that burns trash. Wake, a shell of something left behind. Scavenge to find usable bits and parts from discarded stuff. After you throw away that empty potato chip bag, what happens? Do you lug your trash cans out the curb at night only to find it empty in the morning? Do you trunk your trash bag into the dumpster behind your building or at the dump, never to see them again? It's easy to get rid of garbage, so you never have to see it again. Trash is out of sight, out of mind. But what happens to all that garbage when it leaves our hand? Trash gets jam-packed into landfills or burned in incinerators. But trash doesn't always make it to a garbage can. It's often left behind as messy litter that people carelessly scatter in the wake. Litter flutters across our streets, parks, and beaches. No wonder so many people talk trash these days. Beachfront garbage. Garbage can even be found out of this world. During this historic 1969 Apollo 11 mission, Astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin gathered rocks and soil from the surface of the moon. The astronauts left behind an American flag in a heap of space trash. To lighten their spacecraft load to make room to transport samples back to Earth, astronauts left empty food sacks, vomit bags, a TV camera, collection tongs, and magazines on the moon. They even left the space boots that made those famous footprints on the moon's surface. About the projects. Use projects and activities in this book to make your own discoveries about garbage and spark new ideas about ways to tackle waste. Don't have to suggest the materials and supplies needed for a project. Think of items you can substitute. Scavenge stuff from a friend, trade with someone, of course, safety first. So ask adults for help when handling sharp items and glue guns or when using the stove. Garbage. Words to know. Reduce to use less of something. Reuse instead of tossing out an item, using it again or for a new or creative purpose. Recycle. Shredding, squashing, pumping, or melting items to use the materials to create new products. Rethink. To consider, to think about something again and change your mind about it. Resource. Things found in nature, such as wood or gold, that people can use. Debris, the scattered pieces of something that has been broken or destroyed. The 4 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle, and rethink. In this book, you explore ways you can reduce, reuse, and recycle garbage. You'll also find ways to rethink choices you make every day. To reduce it, to use less of a product or material so there's less waste. For example, instead of grabbing 3 paper towels to dry your hands after washing up, use 1. To reuse is to save things that you would normally throw out and use them again or another purpose. Turn an old beach towel into a cozy blanket for your bed. Pass along clothes to families or friends. Donate books to a library or shelter. Rubbish warriors. In your mark. Get go. Get set go. In 2018, a Swedish fitness grace washed ashore in the United States. Ploffing. The word is a combination of the Swedish Blocker app. Well, read more about it. What are you doing? There are water bottles in the fridge. I'm filling up a car with gas. Okay, I'm sorry I asked. I'm serious. It takes 1.5 million barrels of oil to produce a year's worth of bottled water, which is enough oil to produce fuel for 100,000 cars for a whole year. Wow, I had no idea. Hand me one of these bottles. I'm going to start filling up cars with gas too. To recycle means to break down old items in order to make new ones. Recycling saves resources and energy. Some materials commonly recycled include plastic, paper, glass, and metal. Definitions of debris. There are lots of words to describe things we throw out. What does debris mean to you? You might imagine demolished walls left after a tornado whirls through a neighborhood. How about leftovers? Those are uneaten foods from last night's meal. How do the following terms of trash make you think of? Bits and pieces, cast off, debris, discards, garbage, and so on.